Right. Scott Fishman here for Wrestling Inc. And today we have royalty with us, actually, a queen in many ways. Sharmell, how you doing today?
I'm great. How you doing?
Good. We spoke, months ago about the reality of wrestling, and there's been so much development over that time. So we thought no better way to catch up on everything than to bring you back. So tell me just what it means to you as an organization to have this national clearance where you're more and more markets, kind of expanding the brand. Just what does it mean for you, all the hard work that you and Booker have put in the last, 17 years or so?
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, my goodness, this means everything. We really started as a mom and pop organization, and Booker and I just worked tirelessly, sun up to sun down, to bring the best product that we could to all of the wrestling fans. So it means everything to know that our fans across the country can now watch our programming. And we're looking forward to traveling to these different sites and seeing all the fans in person, because that's just what makes it worth it. When you're entertaining the people and bringing smiles to their faces, that's what we do all of this for.
And as far as, we see Booker kind of like as a face of the organization. We hear him talking about it. But I think it's great to bring you on just to give people an idea of just your day-to-day. Just talk about just what kind of responsibilities you've had over the years and just your hand in it, in the process, and just helping these men and women. I know Booker's said in the past, from a production standpoint, you're also helping, which maybe a lot of people don't talk about, because it is a foot in the door in that sense as well.
Right. So there's a lot that goes on behind the scenes that people just don't get a chance to see. They see the final product. But when I tell you, Booker and I have done it all, from actually cleaning, mopping, cleaning, painting, that sort of thing. But I take on a lot of the technical work, the computer work with ticketing and websites, and, just running the day-to-day, human resources, just all of that. I oversee all of that and make sure everybody's where they're supposed to be, when they're supposed to be there. A lot of our wrestlers call us mom and dad, so we tend to have to help them out with a lot of things personally, but we do it because we love what we do, and we really love our students and love our fans. But it is, I'm telling you, it's constant, from manning the phones to troubleshooting, just absolutely everything. There's a lot that goes into it.
And, you came into the wrestling business, as a dancer, part of the Nitro girls, and you kind of evolved from there. I mean, how does this kept your love of wrestling alive, being on this end of things?
Well, it's always good to see the other side, right? So for the longest time, I was always talent, and I love that. I'm an artist by nature, and in my heart, I'm an artist. But it's also very important for me to give back, to reach back and to help the next one. So Booker and I are at a point in our careers where we can help the next generation. And that's what's very important, because even though I'm not right now in front of the screen in a wrestling capacity, I'm still involved and still staying relevant. I'm helping the next generation, and that brings me joy, But I've also transitioned into acting, so that's been taking a lot of my time as well. So I'm still in the industry, but also just helping the next generation. And
you talk about the acting. Just what are kind of the roles are you going for? Because a lot of you hear about a lot of wrestlers transitioning into acting. Kind of how did that come about?
I've always been interested in acting. So before I got into dance, I was actually doing some acting. I did a few, made-for-TV movies and commercials, national commercials, things like that. So once I stopped actively wrestling and my kids got a little bit older, then I just got back into acting. It was something I've always loved, and I've done a couple of guest starring spots on a few television shows and auditioning all the time. So we'll see where I turn up next.
And I spoke to Booker not long ago, and he kind of described reality wrestling as kind of like a small production. Do you guys see yourself kind of transitioning from the success and the quality that you've been producing with wrestling into other avenues, like you mentioned, TV shows or movies or things like that?
Absolutely. So I have a television show that I'm writing that, of course, we're going to produce and film. So the sky is the limit with us. There are so many avenues that we can take. And what's funny is a lot of times these different things that we've done haven't necessarily been our idea or our initial goal. It's been a company or an organization who has come to us and who said, hey, can you do X, Y, Z? And we're like, well, of course we can. And then we just go back into the office, go to the drawing board and figure out how to do it, and we've always been able to get it done. So when we had a couple of situations like that happened back after back after back, we realized, hey, we can expand this organization and we can take it as far as we want. So definitely we'll be doing more production work and getting into other aspects of entertainment. But right now the focus is definitely reality of wrestling. Row is on the go, and we are so excited to bring it to all of our fans nationwide.
And recently, Roxy became the Ring of Honor Women's Champion, someone who has went through Texas, including your organization, at such a young age. Just what do you remember about, her kind of growing through the company, and just what do you make of her meteoric rise at such a young age?
So I love Roxy, and so does my daughter. My daughter Kennedy is her biggest fan. But one of my fondest memories of Roxy is when she first came to reality of wrestling. So with me running around all the time, I didn't really know her, and she volunteered to be one of the coaches for our kids camp. So in the summer we have camps for kids, ages 8 through 15. So she volunteered to be one of the coaches, and I just remember, of course, the first day of kids camp, I'm in a rush, heads all over the place, trying to get everything together, and I'm trying to corral her into the group of kids because she was so tiny. I mistook her for one of the kids camp kids, and she's so sweet. She's like, "No, Miss Sharmell, it's me, Roxy." And so just to see her, and sometimes I still mistake her for one of the kids because she's short, but she's beautiful. She's grown into this incredible young woman. I love the way that she carries herself, the way she handles herself on the mic, and of course her in-ring work is excellent. So I am so proud of her and looking for just huge things for her in the future.
What other students kind of stand out to you that really kind of went through your doors that you're really particularly proud of these days?
Well, of course, all of our students that are, in the big leagues now, the Usos, just everybody who has made it to the big leagues, I'm super proud of them. But as far as people who are still, in Bermuda, as far as people who are still here, I really think that Ed Stone, Mysterious Q, Savage King, Will All Day, oh my gosh, the list is endless. Rachel Rose, we have so many, Promise Braxton, we have so many people with so much promise, no pun intended, who I think will really make a splash in this industry. Cam Cole, Savage King, the list is endless. Just wait and see. And you'll see they'll carry that Row banner with them.
Yeah, and, we're at a time where, representation is so important, of course, never before, whether it's gender or race. We're seeing the likes of a Bianca Belair, Big E winning the WWE Championship. The list goes on and on. Kind of, for someone, how do you kind of compare when you were breaking in the industry all those years ago to today, and just talk about just the journey and just what do you make of everything, the landscape that we're seeing today?
It really makes me proud. This wasn't really the case when I was coming up, and I'm so excited because I would like to hope, maybe just by doing the best that we could, being professional, always showing up, entertaining the crowd, maybe we in some small way paved the way for this moment here. Like you said, we really are in a diversity and inclusion moment, and, I'm so happy it's here. It makes me so proud. I literally was in tears watching Bobby when he won the title, and Bianca Belair, who is absolutely phenomenal. That's a woman whose talent is undeniable. And so everything, any title that she wins is well deserved. And just I was in tears watching her and Sasha Banks at WrestleMania. I mean, like, what? You know what I mean? It was one of those kind of moments, and it just, I'm getting goosebumps now just thinking about it, but I'm so happy that we're here and that we're in this moment, and that, talent is being recognized no matter your race or, sexual orientation or whatever. So we're all just coming together. It makes me proud, makes me very happy.
And we were coming on the 20-year anniversary of the closing of WCW. What do you kind of when you look back at those days? How do you kind of look at it today? I mean, we always look at it a different lens than we did back then. I mean, when you kind of look at the anniversary and think about the opportunities that came thereafter, but just that moment in time as you're kind of just breaking in, you kind of wide-eyed and bushy-tailed, and just all the changes that were made, and you kind of continued on. So just talk about just what we kind of think about when you think of those memories and this anniversary year.
It's it's crazy. I was only with WCW for a couple years before they closed down, and it seems like longer, but it literally was only a couple years, and those were some of the best times of my life. Again, you had amazing talent there. I mean, there were legends there, and I got an opportunity, like we talked about before, to be a Nitro girl and then transitioned into being a valet. And it just, some of the relationships that I made there are long-lasting. The Nitro girls were bridesmaids in our wedding. So it really was family, and it was a phenomenal time. Wish it could have lasted longer, but it was amazing. That was an amazing ride. And having that foundation allowed me to be successful in the other things that I branched off and did. Going to WWE and then, continuing my acting career. I tell you what, that WCW crowd prepared me for all of this. I am so thankful for it.
When you say that, how do you kind of react when the first time that you went out there and just got that reaction as a character, with was it Paisley? Just tell me about just kind of taking on a character. You talk about acting right now. How did those times kind of prepare you for everything to come?
Well, so with Paisley, I was told on a Friday night that on Monday, that following Monday, I'm going to be this character, Paisley. So I really did not have a lot of time to prepare, but I am a huge Prince fan. So that kind of came easily to me. I would just draw on whatever I felt, Prince would do. So that came easy, and then I was able to transition with each, different person when I was with Kiwi and, the glitter and the pink and the obnoxiousness. I mean, it all was just so fun, and to get a reaction out of the crowd was absolutely amazing. So that prepared me completely for my acting career, whether it was being comfortable with being booed. So I love, portraying a villain, or getting comfortable with, okay, these people are really, really cheering for me, so now you have the superhero vibe. So that prepared me completely for my acting career.
Well, what would you say kind of, or one or two pieces of the best advice that you've received, and who were they from over the years while you're in the wrestling business as the performer end? Are you really
on the performer end, and probably almost everybody I encountered in the wrestling industry would tell me to keep your mouth closed and keep your ears open. So it's just to always listen, listen and learn. But some of my favorite teachers, Medusa and Molly Holly, they kind of just led by example. They're two amazing, incredible women. And then, of course, my husband, Booker, just being under his wing is such a powerhouse, such an incredible talent inside and outside of the ring. Just watching Booker, let's talk about outside of the ring for a second. Legendary vignettes, okay? The stuff he did with Stone Cold and Goldust, just that's just magic, Kurt Angle, just everybody. Booker is, and this is not me being biased, but he is a once-in-a-lifetime talent. And then his in-ring work is incredible as well. The announce table, whatever he's doing, he excels. So just being able to be under the tutelage of somebody like that is just worth its weight in gold.
Yeah, for sure. And do you have you talk about so many memorable moments you created, whether it was Goldust or in the supermarket. Do you have one in particular that you really are fond of?
I really like the supermarket vignette, and then also with Stone Cold when he was in the bingo hall and he stole the lady's bingo card who had bingo. I don't know why, but just that one moment tickles me to no end, because you have this sweet little old lady and he is stealing her bingo card. I don't know why that just brings me, I don't know, it just makes me chuckle. But that, along with the grocery store, those are two of my favorites.
I think what's great about not only yourself and Booker is just from a performance standpoint is you guys go all in. You're not afraid to kind of push it there as far as being these over-the-top characters, like when you were playing the king and queen, and just the accent, and even just the mannerisms that you had, just being very queenly. So I think a lot of performers today can learn a lot from the character end, because I feel like characters in wrestling is kind of a lost art. But when you look back that that time, I think that just one of the things that just makes me smile. Seems like that was almost at the tail end of what during that time characters are kind of like fading out, which is really sad. But we're seeing a little bit more nowadays, I think. Wouldn't you say?
We are, and I'll tell you, going back to the one piece of advice, your character is what will, and in my opinion, okay, your character is what will kind of give you a lasting career, okay? So Booker once told me, he said, don't take yourself so seriously. Just relax and have fun. And I'll never remember at WrestleMania one year when they had the really long ramp. And I'm like trying to rush down that ramp, and he stops me in the middle of WrestleMania. He stops me. He says, take a minute and just look around. So we took a minute. I slowed my walk up, and I finally got it. And so, I don't know if people realize, but it's a very stressful job when you're a sports entertainer. It's very stressful. So a lot of times, your nerves and just the stress level, you want to be the best. You put a lot of stress on yourself. But if you just take a deep breath and calm down and remember, it's about having fun. So I think that's what happened with the King and Queen gimmick. Booker and I really were able to have fun, and that translates. So it makes the fans feel something, whether they want to boo you or cheer for you. It makes them feel, and that's where the magic comes from.
Right. And we talked about the Nitro Girls a little bit earlier. Che is kind of back in the news as far as doing interviews for her, venture that she's working on. I mean, how in touch do you guys stay together? I mean, is there like a reunion that you're in there, or is it because you mentioned, a lot of them were bridesmaids at your wedding, and there was a connection there, obviously. So how much is there like a group chat, or how do you guys keep in touch?
So there is definitely a group chat, and we are on there quite often. And let me say that I am super proud of Che, with this ring-along that she's created, and I can't wait to see it be the next great thing. But, yes, we do. As a matter of fact, Che and Melissa, who was Spice, will be at my house this Saturday. So we're having a little mini reunion. I'm so proud of Melissa as well. So she's doing a conference in Austin, but she's going to drive on down to Houston, and Che is going to meet us here, and we're going to have a little mini Nitro Girl reunion on Saturday. I love those girls.
Oh, that's awesome. I feel that could have been a reality show in itself before its time. You know how they have the Dallas Cowboys.
Hey, don't steal my idea now.
Oh, that's funny. Hopefully, I'll leave it at that. But before I let you go, just with the big steps forward with reality of wrestling, kind of Booker mentioned to me about really wanting to be like a AAA of professional wrestling, and really kind of that can help with its longevity, just being that source for everyone to go to. But in your eyes, kind of where do you see this company going in the next few years now that you're kind of building that audience and that equity?
Well, just like Booker said, yes, we are trying to be the AAA because we want to produce the next generation of sports entertainment superstars. We want to be the go-to company for that. But also, we'd like to completely live up to our name. We're already doing it, but being the flagship of Texas wrestling, but also expand that. So we want to start regional and create this territory where reality of wrestling is the brand, and we are well on our way for that. And like I said, just keeping in mind, yes, the AAA of sports entertainment. So those two things I think we will definitely accomplish within the next couple of years. We just need the fan support, and we're well on our way.
And why don't you let people know just how to support Reality of Wrestling and also just follow yourself and everything that you have going on.
Yeah, so if you go to our website, realityofwrestling.com, you can find out a lot of the information, like where to view our show if it's in your area, as well as there's a link to our YouTube channel, so you can always view our shows there. You can follow us on social media, Reality of Wrestling, and then you can follow me on social media, Real Sharmell.
Perfect. Thank you, Sharmell, so much for the time. I loved reminiscing about everything and just talking about everything Reality of Wrestling. I love what you guys are doing and just can't wait to see what's next for you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you.
All right. Have a good day.
You too. Bye-bye.